It does not attack you in the streets. It does not challenge you to a duel in the light of day. It waits. It waits for the silence. It waits for the moment you lay your head on the pillow, exhausted from the battles of the world, only to begin a war that is far more brutal. The inner critic, that voice in the back of your mind that whispers or sometimes screams that you are not enough, that you are a fraud, that your past mistakes are not just events, but a life sentence. It replays your failures in high definition, editing out your victories, leaving you paralyzed in the dead of night. Modern psychology tells you to fight it, to argue with it, to pump yourself up with positive affirmations. I am strong. I am successful. But you know the truth. When you scream at the darkness screams back louder. When you fight a monster in your own mind, you are feeding it with your own blood. You are giving it your attention, your energy, your life force. The Stoics, the ancient warriors of the mind, understood something that we have forgotten. Marcus Aurelius, the emperor of Rome, the most powerful man on earth, fought this same enemy. He did not defeat it by fighting. He defeated it by starving it. He defeated it by rendering it irrelevant. This is not a battle to be won with swords. It is a siege to be won with silence. Here are 5 Stoic strategies to dismantle your inner critic, not by force, but by the relentless application of truth. The first mistake we make is identification. When the voice says, "You are weak," you believe that you are the voice. You merge with the thought. You become the sadness. You become the anger. Epictetus, the slave who became a philosopher, taught us the discipline of assent. He said, "Men are not disturbed by things, but by the view which they take of them." Imagine your mind is the vast, open sky. Your thoughts, the criticism, the doubt, the fear are merely clouds passing through. Some are dark and heavy with thunder. Some are thin and fleeting. But no matter how dark the cloud, it cannot stain the sky. It cannot harm the sky. The sky allows the storm to rage, knowing that eventually the wind will change and the clouds will dissolve. When the inner critic speaks, do not argue, do not engage. Simply observe. Say to yourself, "This is a thought. It is not me. It is just a neurological event passing through my consciousness." Watch the thought arise. Watch it peak, and watch it fade. By refusing to identify with it, you strip it of its power. You become the watcher, not the victim. You remain the sky untouched, eternal, and vast. The inner critic thrives on exaggeration. It thrives on drama. It does not speak in facts. It speaks in judgments. It does not say, "You lost your job." It says, "You are a worthless failure who will never recover." The Stoics practiced a technique called objective representation. It is the art of seeing things exactly as they are, stripped of the emotional language we drape over them. Marcus Aurelius wrote about a fine delicacy, a roasted pig. He stripped away the glamour and said, "This is merely the dead body of a pig." He looked at his purple imperial robes and said, "This is just sheep's wool dyed with the blood of a shellfish." Apply this ruthless objectivity to your inner critic. When the voice says, "You humiliated yourself in that meeting," you strip it down. The truth is, "I stuttered for 3 seconds while speaking." That is the fact. The humiliation is a story you are adding to it. When the voice says, "You are lonely and unlovable," you strip it down. The truth is, "I am currently in a room by myself." By removing the adjectives, the terrible, the awful, the unbearable, you leave the critic with nothing but dry facts. And facts cannot hurt you. Facts are manageable. Facts can be solved. Judgments are what kill the soul. Strip the beast of its fur and claws, and you will see it is just a small, frightened animal. The inner critic is an egomaniac. It thinks everything you do is the most important event in the history of the universe. It convinces you that your mistake is a catastrophe that everyone is watching. It traps you in the prison of the self. To break out, You must ascend. You must adopt the view from above. Close your eyes. Pull your perspective back. Leave your body. Rise above your house, above your city, above your country. See the earth as a small blue marble floating in the infinite black void of space. From this height, look down at yourself. See that tiny speck that is you, worrying about a comment someone made yesterday. See the billions of other humans, all struggling, all dying, all replaced by new generations. See the rise and fall of empires, the shifting of continents. In the scale of deep time, your embarrassment is nothing. Your failure is dust. Your anxiety is a flicker of a dying candle in a hurricane. This is not meant to depress you. It is meant to liberate you. If you are nothing, then your mistakes are nothing. If you are dust, then the opinion of others is just wind blowing over the sand. The inner critic cannot survive in the vacuum of the cosmos. It needs a small, cramped room to echo in. Expand your mind to the size of the universe, and the voice will drown in the silence of the stars. Nietzsche, echoing the Stoics, gave us the ultimate weapon. Amor fati, love your fate. Usually, when the inner critic points out a flaw, we cringe, we try to hide it, we feel shame. The critic uses our shame as a whip. But what if you didn't hide? What if you agreed? When the voice says, "You are undisciplined," instead of feeling bad, you say, "You are right. I have been lazy. Thank you for reminding me. I will use this anger to forge a new routine." When the voice says, "You are not as smart as them," you say, "Good. That means I have more to learn. I will be the student." Treat the inner critic not as an enemy, but as a harsh drill sergeant. A drill sergeant is not there to be your friend. He is there to break you down so you can be rebuilt stronger. Do not just bear the criticism. Do not just tolerate it. Embrace it. Love it. Use it as fuel. Turn the stones thrown at you into a fortress. When you stop fearing the criticism and start using it, the inner critic becomes confused. It tries to hurt you, but you only get stronger. Eventually, it realizes it has no power over you, and it retreats. If all else fails, you have one final truth to rely on. The only truth that matters. You are going to die. It could be 50 years from now. It could be 10 years. It could be today. The Stoics kept death close, not to be morbid, but to be urgent. Memento mori, remember you must die. Ask yourself this. If I knew I was going to die next week, would I spend my remaining hours listening to this voice? Would you waste your final breaths worrying about what a stranger thinks of you? Would you waste your final heartbeats beating yourself up over a mistake from 5 years ago? Of course not. You would look at the sunset. You would hold the hand of someone you love. You would taste your food. You would live. The inner critic thrives on the illusion that we have forever. It nags us as if we have time to waste on guilt. We do not. Death strips away the nonsense. When you stand in the shadow of the grave, the inner critic falls silent. It has nothing to say to a man who has accepted his mortality. So, the next time the voice attacks you, imagine your own skeleton. Imagine the world going on without you. Realize how precious this brief flicker of consciousness is. You do not have time to be your own enemy. You only have time to live. Defeating the inner critic is not about shouting, "I am the greatest." It is about a quiet, unshakable realization of reality. It is realized that you are the observer, not the thought. It is seeing the bare facts, not the nightmare. It is seeing your smallness in the stars. It is using the pain as fuel. And it is remembering that the clock is ticking. The goal is not a mind that never thinks negative thoughts. That is impossible. The goal is a mind that does not flinch. A mind that stands like a cliff against the waves, battered, wet, but immovable. Let the voice speak. Let it scream. You have work to do. You have a life to live. Walk on. The path is waiting.